Lately, I've been reading the book The Year of Magical Thinking by Joan Didion, and I was absolutely blown away by the slow, methodical beauty of her sentences, her concrete, observational style, and the quiet way she explores unthinkable grief. In On Keeping a Notebook, Joan Didion explores this observational style and what it means to be a note-taker. See enough and write it down, I tell myself. And then some morning when the world seems drained of wonder, some day when I'm going through the motions of doing what I'm supposed to do, which is right, on that bankrupt morning, I will simply open my notebook and there it will all be, a forgotten account with accumulated interest, paid passage back to the world out there. It all comes back. Remember what it is to be me. That is always the point. Hello everyone and welcome back to another author routine attempt. My name is Christy, I'm a debut author. My first novel is coming out next year on July 28th and it's called Theodora's Tea Shop and you can pre-order it now. It's been a little while since I last tried out an author's writing routine here on the channel. We've done so many, from Donna Tartt to Octavia E. Butler to Stephen King, but today we're exploring the writing process of Joan Didion. I am 3/4 of the way through this book. I've cried 3 times. I love it. Again, the style of her sentences are just really remarkable and withholding, and they say so much and there's so much subtext. So to begin with, who was she? Joan Didion was an American writer, journalist, essayist, memoirist, screenwriter, and note-taker. Her career began in the 1950s after she won an essay contest sponsored by Vogue. She later went on to work for Vogue from 1956 to 1964. While undertaking this work and homesick for California, she wrote her first novel, Run River.
If it's a piece in a magazine and they leave out a comma or something, I mean, it's a form of perfectionism. I mean, if I did it around the house, which I certainly don't, as you can see, I would be a normal, neurotic perfectionist housewife. I'd always be able, what I'm always doing when I'm writing is emptying the ashtrays, you know.
Joan Didion is known for the essay collections Slouching Towards Bethlehem and The White Album, the novel Play As It Lays, and the memoir The Year of Magical Thinking. She was married to fellow writer and collaborator John Dunn, and they had a daughter named Quintana. She passed away in 2021. So what was Joan Didion's writing routine and process? Now, early in her career, she mentions being heavily inspired by Hemingway.
I taught myself how to type by typing sentences, typing out Hemingway sentences over and over again.
Looking for
just how they worked. They appeared to be so simple, but you would come away from a string of them with this overwhelming feeling of whatever he had in mind.
During my research for this video, I stumbled onto this clip and I was so happy to find out that she did this because I did exactly the same thing a number of years ago. I pulled apart the stories of Angela Carter, I pulled apart the stories of a number of my favorite authors to understand how the prose worked on a sentence by sentence level, on a word by word level. I think this is an amazing practice to have, especially if you're starting out with writing. We also know that her approach to fiction and non-fiction was different.
Non-fiction, you've got a bunch of stuff, and now it's a matter of shaping it. Fiction, there's a dread level, because you wake up every single morning with the idea that it's not worth doing it, and you're going to have to make up something out of nothing. I go to work in the morning about 10:30. It's not until about 5 in the afternoon that I actually start hitting a rhythm where I get a page done. But it takes all day to just overcome fear.
And according to an article in the Paris Review, when asked if she had any writing rituals, Joan Didion said, "The most important is that I need an hour alone before dinner with a drink to go over what I've done for that day. I can't do it late in the afternoon because I'm too close to it. Also, the drink helps. It removes me from the pages. So I spend this hour taking things out and putting other things in. If I don't have the hour and start the next day with just some bad pages and nowhere to go, I'm in low spirits." She also mentions that towards the end of working on a project, she'll sleep in the same room with the work. I do the same thing, but not by choice. It's because I live in a 1-bedroom apartment and I can see my desk from where I sleep. Also, it's not the end of the work, it's all the work that I do. She also mentions in The Year of Magical Thinking that every morning she would go for a walk with her husband John through Central Park. Sometimes they would take diverting paths, but they would always link up together towards the end. It's so sad because she's packing up his clothes when she mentions this anecdote, but she does go walking through Central Park. But to summarize, what we're going to be doing today for our writing routine is we're going to be going for a walk this morning through the park. I'm very lucky that I live in a city of parks. I have so many parks to choose from for this part of the recreation of the writing routine. Joan Didion also said that she would start writing around 10 a.m, 10:30, and she would finish working at about 5. She obviously has a bit of a break there to get some distance from the work, so I'm probably going to use that time to maybe finish reading this book. Pray for me. I'm nervous to finish the book. And then before dinner, I'll spend a final hour going over the work, doing some editing. I'll make myself a fun drink. I'm assuming she's drinking alcohol. I don't happen to drink alcohol, so I'll make something different, but I'll do that 1 hour of editing, and then that will be the writing routine. So without further ado, let's jump into it. I'm gonna finish making my breakfast, and then we're gonna go for a walk and start the first part of this day. Hello, I am all home from my walk now. It's just about 10 a.m. This is actually a really ideal time for me to start writing. If you've watched the other videos that we've done in this series, there's been 4 a.m. writing routines, 2 a.m. writing routines, night owl routines, all of these different various times. Honestly, 10 a.m. is like spot on for when I would want to start writing during the day. So I'm glad we're starting this at 10 a.m. And today I'm going to be working on draft 2.5 of Project Spiegeltent. Spiegeltent is my arty, circusy, gothic performing arts novel, which I'm still trying to work out exactly what that story is. It's been a real haphazard journey writing this second book after Theodora's Tea Shop, but that's what I'm currently working on. This is the draft right before I send it off to my literary agent, so I'm doing some tweaks, I'm doing some edits. I'm particularly working on the final 3 chapters of the story, because that's like when I start writing a book, I'm very stop-start. I'll start things, I'll throw them away, I'll go back, I'll try again. And so for the early drafts of my stories, the first few chapters tend to be worked on quite a bit, and then my last few chapters need a bit of work, so I'm doing just a few edits on that, moving things around so that I can send this book off to my literary agent to get some feedback and to see what the process is going to be from there. I honestly don't know what's going to happen with that book after that step, but whatever happens, happens. So I need to get started on writing for today, which brings me to the sponsor of this video, which is Scrivener. I actually reached out to them, so I think Scrivener is absolutely brilliant. I've been looking for an alternative to Microsoft Word for some time now. A lot of you guys have recommended Scrivener. I've tried it out. I've loved it. I wanted to talk to you guys about it today. It's this brilliant writing software that helps you to both simplify your writing process and keep all of your notes in the same place. You can segment out your chapters. You can keep all of your research together. I'm using Scrivener to write draft 2.5 of Spiegeltent, and I'm loving the process. Because you can keep all of your notes in the same place, Scrivener helps to solve overwhelm. It's not just a blank page and a blinking cursor. Scrivener helps you to design your process exactly how it suits you. Scrivener acts as a digital binder for your novel, allowing you to keep everything in the same place, your research, notes, character sketches, everything neatly organized and easily accessible. There are corkboard and outline views so you can see your whole story at a glance, rearrange your scenes or chapters with simple drag and drop. It's flexible for plotters and pantsers alike. You can go full screen with composition mode and hide all distractions so that you can focus on your writing. You can also track your progress by setting daily word or project count targets. And if you're motivated by this, I know that I am very motivated by my word count, you can watch the progress bar fill up and see yourself getting closer and closer to the end of the story. You don't have to settle for scattered drafts and lost ideas. Get organized and get writing with Scrivener. Go ahead and check out Scrivener's 30-day free trial. And then if you love it, and I hope that you do, feel free to use my link in the description down below to get a discount on Scrivener. Moving on into the writing portion of this vlog. So today I'm going to be working on chapter 10 of Project Spiegeltent. It's a very gloomy, weird, humid, rainy day today. I don't know, the spring so far in Adelaide has been strange. We're gonna write, we're gonna go for a walk and get some lunch. My partner Tyler is working from home today. We'll grab some lunch, and then in the afternoon I'll go back to writing, and that's basically what my day's gonna look like. So I'm kicking off my writing routine today by honoring the fact that Joan Didion was a prolific note taker, and she has this beautiful, slow, observational style to her prose. And so I wanted to start off today by grabbing my notebook, jotting down some thoughts, clearing the ashtray of my brain, if you will, and just starting writing for the day. day. Sometimes I do really like to bring out the notebook straight away because I feel like it helps me to just kind of disconnect from the internet, from social media, and to just start that flow of writing. Now, the thing that really stood out to me when I was researching Joan Didion's writing routine was that this is a routine that doesn't have a lot of bells and whistles. Unlike Dan Brown's routine, there's no push-ups or weird smoothies, and unlike Brandon Sanderson, there's not 2 different writing sessions, and unlike Stephen King or Charles Dickens, there's not a profuse amount of walking. For Joan Didion, it's simply sitting at the chair all day and writing, and then making a fun drink and doing some editing. We did a walk in the morning, but other than that, there's actually not that much to report on in terms of the minutiae of this particular writing routine. But something that also did stand out to me when I was doing this research is the fact that Joan Didion speaks about fear, and she speaks about how it can often take her a really, really long time to get started on writing and to get into the flow of writing. And God, did I feel this when I heard her talk about that, because I am the same. I'm very much a person who takes a while to speed up. Now, Joan Didion is writing much shorter pieces. I'm working on novels. She often works on essays, articles, shorter novels, shorter memoirs, that kind of thing. And so I get the sense from her that she's quite a slow writer, but God, is it worth it for such beautiful sentences. I feel like I'm kind of the opposite. I'm quite a fast writer. I love to just slap down words and then edit later on. I am quite a perfectionist with my writing, but only in the later drafts, not in the first draft. I've mentioned so many times that the first draft, I tell myself, is supposed to be bad. It's supposed to have all of these mistakes, and that's what gives myself the permission to write, and to write quickly, and to start locking in. But I did find it really, really interesting that Joan Didion has that same quality where she can struggle to concentrate throughout the day, and sometimes it's only by 5 p.m. that she can really lock on and concentrate. And so that was really, really nice to hear from her. Now, it's quite rare that I have a full day unbroken to sit down and write. I'm obviously juggling other work and I do a lot of other things, but sometimes it does also take me a long time during a writing session to spin up and to get that work going, and especially this is true for me during the beginning of a project. However, for Project Spiegel Tent, I'm absolutely on a roll with this project at the moment, so I'm working quite quickly, and I'm very happy about that, because in terms of my writing, I am happiest when I'm on a roll with the story, and that's where I am. So I really don't have very much to report because I'm just working away, I'm problem solving, I'm doing some edits. I'll probably do a Project Spiegel Tent deep dive at some point and let you know everything that's been going on with that story. But for now, I'm just working away really slowly, making sure that everything's flowing early on in the drafting process for me. I just want to make sure pacing's good, character motivations make sense, big picture stuff is working, and so that's what I'm focusing on today. So I've just made myself a cup of tea. It's just past 2 p.m. and I don't have heaps to report on the actual writing portion of this writing routine. I'm just working away at chapter 10 of Project Spiegel Tent. Mabel is chewing on her toy behind me. Don't mind the noises. It's a little tiny teddy bear of a dog. I'm working away on chapter 10. It's slow, it's meandering, and I suppose what I can say about Joan Didion and her writing style is that I really loved the almost Hemingway-esque style of her writing. And she does say, as I shared at the beginning of this video, that Hemingway was a really, really big inspiration for her. She pulled apart his sentences to examine how he wrote and how he constructed his prose. What I appreciate about Joan Didion, though, is that she has this beautiful withholding style without her being Hemingway. I've tried to read Hemingway. I read A Movable Feast. I read The Something Sun, what is it? I had a pretty cover. I spent too much on this book. Something to do with the sun. It's not South of the Border, West of the Sun. That is a Haruki Murakami novel. Hemingway, Sun. The Sun Also Rises is the name of the other book I read. And again, I liked the style of the writing. I liked the prose. I didn't love the content. I didn't love the way he looked at the world, but I love this style of writing. So I much prefer Joan Didion. I love what she's done with this little kernel of inspiration. The way she writes is just gorgeous and it's so beautiful. So after I'm done with The Year of Magical Thinking, for those of you who love Joan Didion, please recommend to me what you think I should read next. I'm probably going to try and read one of her novels. I just think she's so talented. I'm here working away on chapter 10. Nothing much to report. I'll just be typing away for the rest of the afternoon, and then around 5 or just before 5 I'll stop writing and I'll take a break and I'll start reading. It's now just past 5 p.m. and I'm all done with writing for today. So I am now going to take a break. I'm going to step away. I'm going to read. I really don't have very much left of the Year of Magical Thinking. I'm going to read to the end, take a bit of a break, and then come back and do some editing. I'm a bit nervous because I'm pretty sure I know what happens by the end of this memoir, because obviously it's based on real life. I do know a tiny bit about Joan Didion's life. This book is so beautiful. It's so sad. The way it kind of jumps back and forth through this year, and then how it dives into these anecdotes to give you all the context. This is just a beautifully constructed memoir. I'm gonna go sit down and start reading and finish this book. That was heartbreaking. The whole time I was waiting for the death of Joan's daughter, because she passed away during a similar time period. Joan Didion's daughter actually ended up passing away during the promotional period for the Year of Magical Thinking. So the tragedy and the horrible luck, and there's a whole part of the memoir where she discusses luck that came to Joan Didion during 2004, is absolutely wild. But I retain such a beautiful book, so much anger and well, grief. It's a book about grief contained within these really calm sentences. I've spoken a lot about sentences today. Again, I just think this book is beautifully written, a really concrete style, not flowery, almost no figurative language. I've taken a bit of a breather, I've stopped my teary eyes, but I'm now ready to go back to my book for the next hour to do a little bit of editing now that I've had a bit of a break from working on it all day. As I said, Joan Didion makes herself a drink and sits down with her work and does the editing. I have today lemon and lime bitter flavored sparkling water, because normally when I'm at a bar, because as I said, I just don't happen to drink, the thing I tend to order is a lemon and lime bitters, because it's kind of like lemonade but a bit more fun because it's pink and it has like a little slice of lemon in it. Anyway, I'm gonna have a glass of this to sort of add to the theme of this video. Tyler's about to get started on dinner and I'm gonna edit my book for the next little while until we sit down to eat dinner. Hello, one intermission later, we're done with writing, we're done with dinner, all the things. Today is done. Now, what did we learn from trying out Joan Didion's writing routine? This particular writing routine wasn't particularly different to a lot of the other writing routines that I tried. The meat of the actual writing was between 10 a.m. and 5 p.m. and so for that, I didn't really have much to report. I was working away on chapter 10. I'm just doing some fiddly editing bits, writing bits. I did enjoy the process of stepping away and then coming back after an hour or two. Also having a fun drink I think is a nice ritual. I probably would just have tea, so it's probably no different to what I would normally do, but I did like that, doing something a little bit different. I do drink a lot of tea and generally always the same flavor of tea, and I am a sucker for a bit of novelty, so some lemon and lime bitters flavored water was a fun little novelty today. I could have just gotten like regular soft drink. I rarely drink soft drink. I only ever drink it if we're getting takeaway. Like I don't, are you okay? You want to chew on my arm? Mostly it's when we order takeaway, so if we're getting like McDonald's or KFC or Burger King or something, that's when I'll have it. Like I cannot remember the last time I've bought a bottle of soft drink. I think I was maybe a teenager the last time I did that. But anyway, the sparkling water was lovely. There's something about me filming a YouTube video, I think because I speak a lot more loudly in videos than I do when I'm just speaking with Tyler, that it grabs her attention straight away. Like she just, if I'm vlogging, if I'm doing any kind of video making, I think it's because I'm just being louder than normal. So I think she thinks I'm calling her to attention. She's now trying to drink out of my teacup. No, thank you. Anyway, for me, the most remarkable thing out of today was finishing Joan Didion's memoir. Just the way she navigated a year of such terrible tragedy, and to realize that her daughter would die soon after is heartbreaking. But I do want to read some of Joan Didion's other work from before this happened, because of course this tragic snapshot of her life is only one snapshot of her life. Actually, one of my closest friends did their PhD in grief memoir writing, so I should probably go and message them about this book. I'm gonna do that the second I stop talking to you guys. But otherwise, sad reading aside, I had a really lovely day today. I've been plugging away at Project Spiegel Tent. I'm gonna be sending that to my literary agent very, very soon, so I'm excited for that. And yeah, I just wanted to say a big thank you to everyone over on Patreon for supporting my channel. Without Patreon, I wouldn't be able to make these videos. Over on Patreon, we have a whole bunch of lovely bonus content, our book club, our Discord server, so many things over on Patreon. So if you'd like to check it out, there is a link in the description down below. Also, please don't forget that you can pre-order my novel Theodora's Tea Shop, which is going to be out next year in July. There's also a link for that in the description, or you can add it on Goodreads or Storygraph. Take care everyone, and I will see you next time. Bye bye.